Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
We are reading from Caitanya Caritamrita, Madhya Lila 8, the talks between the Lord and Ramananda Roy. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired, out of many types of meditation, which is required for all living entities? Srila Ramananda Roy replied, the chief duty of every living entity is to meditate upon the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked, where should the living entity live, abandoning all other places? Ramananda Roy replied, it should live in the holy place known as Vrindavan or Brajabhumi, where the Lord performed his rasa dance. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then asked, out of all topics that people listen to, which is the best for all living entities? Ramananda Roy replied, hearing about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna is most pleasing to the ear. Purport. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, he who faithfully hears about the dealings between Lord Krishna and the gopis in the rasa dance, and he who describes these activities, attain the perfectional stage of devotional service, and simultaneously lose all material desires. A liberated person who hears about the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna is not inclined to have lusty desires. In the conditional stage, one should not even try to remember such things. By practicing the regulative principles, one should rise to the platform of spontaneous attraction. Then only one should hear about Radha Krishna Leela. The talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are conducted on the platform of liberation.
Again, this line.
The talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are conducted on the platform of liberation.
What is liberation? Moksha? Then what is liberation?
Siddhadeha.
A spiritual body. Is the liberation for the devotees. And that spiritual body to identify and to practice is the way of liberation. So, identifying ourselves is very difficult. We know that we are soul, but we cannot stay there because the soul nature is marginal and independent. We see this in our practice. If we come to this identification of the soul, after that our marginal nature is not going and our independency is not going in all decisions and every respect, material or spiritual. This is also in the last of Prabhupada mentioned this of Bhagavad Gita. The last paragraph you will see of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned there. We are conditional. We are conditioned with my material body, with my senses and the mind, and with too much false ego, what I practiced in my previous life. How to be free from that? Read this line again.
The talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are conducted on the platform of liberation.
Yes, they are liberated souls. They are talking. But you read that.
The whole paragraph of
yes,
the purport?
Why you lie in one line?
Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked, out of all topics that people listen to, which is the best for all living entities?
We are living entity. What is best for us? Go on.
Ramananda Roy replied, hearing about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna
That's
is
the
most
point.
pleasing to the ear.
Pleasing to the ear and pleasing to all your desire. Your material desire will be searching for the best. We want to see the beautiful things. The best thing, best eyes, best nose, best smile, best ear, best body, beautiful action, soft speaking, that we want to listen. These ears want to listen that. Yeah.
That's why it said in Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse is always quoted also, Vikreditam brajavadubir idam cha Vishnu, Shradan vito nu shrinuyat atavarnayat ya, Bhaktim param bhagavati pradilapya kamam, Rogam ashvapahinotya chirena dira. He who faithfully hears about the dealings between Krishna, Lord Krishna and the gopis in the rasa dance, and he who describes these activities attain the perfectional stage of devotional service and simultaneously lose material lusty desires.
Radha. That I want to.
Yes.
Yes. Lusty desire cannot go without hearing the pastime, loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. The material lust cannot go without spiritual lust. English samajhte ho? Material lust cannot go without spiritual lust. And by listening of Radha and Krishna conjugal loving pastime, the material desire will never finish. Because we want to know only this in my material life. This is our nature. And I want to finish it by my efforts. Are
you crazy?
Impossible. If you want to make possible, then listen the pastime. That pastime, when you will like and you will become interested to be in that pastime, automatic. Without no efforts, your greed will be higher for the divine thinking. Yeah. Why this Ramananda Rai say, living in Vrindavan? Because you cannot listen this out of Vrindavan. You cannot listen this. This is the land where it is easy to listen. Other thing they don't want to listen is a Vrindavan. Yeah.
A liberated person who hears about the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna is not inclined to have lusty desires.
By listening the pastime, your position will become free from other things, liberated. You will liberate other things. If you are not liberated person, you will liberate with this. Only to accept that I am the servant of Radhika, you will start liberation. You will become free from many things. She gave me a very good example today. She come in morning time. She say, up to night time I decide to go to the one school and teach there. And night time she calculate, this is also jumping nature, like a monkey nature. Again I start thinking monkey nature, again I want to jump. Why to jump? Why not to use our time for this that I can stop my monkey nature for jumping this and that. Is our monkey nature, jumping nature. Because I am not going to get something, then I going outside to get something. How you can meditate this without interest? You cannot do this. When your interest will create, your jumping nature will automatically go. This monkey nature will stop. Without adding to anything, without doing any efforts, it's gone. I like very much. You see, our monkey nature only goes, only I start listening and I start liking that. And this is the position of your freedom. I want to be free, but my monkey nature is not going. How I can be a free? Yes, we can be a free when we will decide to start liking so much listening that my ear will start liking that.
By practicing the regulative principles, one should rise to the platform of spontaneous attraction.
You see, then if I cannot do this, I have no time for listening, I have no time for this, then do regulative principle. Follow that regulative principle in this condition. Because still there are many things to improve in our nature. It still is not unbalanced. Yeah. Go on.
Then one should hear about Radha Krishna Leela.
You see, again repeat this line.
By practicing the regulative principles, one should rise to the platform of spontaneous attraction.
Attraction. Spontaneous loving means spontaneous love cannot come without relationship. If I want to develop a spontaneous love, it means relation. Means I have to relate in my knowing, without knowing my Sarup, I have to relate in Sakh, Bashale and Madhuri, any rasa.
Yes.
I have to relate it. That is a spontaneous love, relation, relate. Without relation, there is no rasa. If I have no relation, there will be no rasa. Radha, Radha, Dandavad. There is no rasa without relation. You see the Prabhupada, page 4, is mentioned there, Sambandha, by 22 times. 22 times he writes this. If you want to go in a spontaneous love, this is the way. So merciful. First he talk about a spontaneous love. And second he talk about liberation, that Sarup and Sarup Siddhi will make you liberation. Say any other way? Sarup, your form, and the perfection in your form will get you Siddhi, and Siddhi is liberation. Rai Ramananda, in her Visakha Bhav, and Mahaprabhu, both are in the condition of highly perfect. They are talking in this mood. Gopi and Dasi is talking to the Swamini. Dasi is talking to the Swamini. Boss is not talking to the maid servant. Maid servant is sharing to the boss. Why? Because the Swamini inspired him to listen from her. Because listening is more tasteful when talking. She wants to feel, my maid servant is qualified or not, did she understand or not? Read from what you start.
Yeah, this is almost finished, Gurudev. Then one should hear about Radha Krishna Leela. Although these affairs may be very pleasing to conditioned and to liberated souls.
Conditioned, that I want to listen. Even the conditioner soul will be pleased by listening.
Yes.
That I am searching for. Conditioner soul will become pleased. Why? Because this is the way of liberation. He starts feeling liberation. By listening, the condition come that she don't start like to jump. This is liberation, freedom, free. The nature is changing. We are our conditioned soul, but how we can come out from this condition? Okay, liberated soul, they can do what they like. But we are conditioned, and how we can be out of condition? That to think. I am a very conditioned. But how to come out from condition? Condition means jumping nature. Monkey nature. How to be liberated? My nature starts changing. My behavior starts changing. That's the way of liberation. I don't start liking other things to listen. Nobody will praise you that there is a Katha is going on. But when you will go in Katha, then you will see is a mental speculation Katha or there is something for the liberation Katha is going on. When you taste, air will start liking that. There are many kathas, there are many things going on, but my ears once I like. Understand? That is liberation. What I am liking, if it is not, that is, what is the business with that to me? Read.
Although these affairs may be very pleasing to the conditioned and to the liberated souls,
That's the point. I know, say, I'm thinking on liberated soul. We are thinking on conditional soul. This medicine is for both of them. Same medicine works to the liberated soul. And same medicine works to the conditional soul. Understand? What? Radha and Krishna's sweet pastime. Sweetest pastime will make you more faster. Bring you free from other things. We are conditional because we are living in my senses. And we don't want to leave this. That is my condition. And when I will listen some unconditional circumstances, automatically my taste will go from condition. Then I will think that it's a small calculation what I am thinking before. It's a higher calculation than that. Yeah. Why not to double? And this listening, my interest will change. My desire will change. My wishes will change. And this is only possible in Vrindavan. No outside of Vrindavan. And that is also rare places to find it. In Vrindavan, rare places to find. Why? Different circumstances. Why to go in that? Different circumstances. Yeah.
As far as I know, Ramananda Roy has never been in Vrindavan. I don't know, but...
They are always in Vrindavan.
Yes, but he's saying one should live in Vrindavan, but he's...
Actually, one is living in Vrindavan and one is only thinking for Vrindavan. If I am in Vrindavan, I am thinking for Germany. I am not living in Vrindavan. I am living in Germany and thinking for Vrindavan. All the time is living in Vrindavan. Is your connection and your meditation. Vrindavan is a divine pastime. Leela is happening here. It's a divine place. Bham Vrindavan and divine Vrindavan. Why we come to Bham Vrindavan? How to get entry in the divine Vrindavan. Bham Vrindavan is a good circumstances to get this. Is a door where only door has to open and we enter there. And who enter once there, they cannot leave out of Vrindavan. If you start living in Vrindavan, one devotee, you bring out to them from Vrindavan, they will only glorify Vrindavan. Because they know only this thing. So Ramananda Rai is a Vishakha. And Vishakha is always living in Radha, with Radhika. And Radhika never go out from Vrindavan. Radha and Vishakha never go out from Vrindavan. But in this pastime, this happened, Ramananda never come to Vrindavan and Mahaprabhu also visit Vrindavan. What is this? This is the thing that their heart and mind and where they see, only they see Vrindavan because they are in Vrindavan. They are all in Vrindavan and they are teaching us that you can stay in your place and you can make Vrindavan there also. But we need to enter from our condition to unconditional circumstances. So we want to enter to feel that. When our condition will go out, then we are always start living in Vrindavan. Our conditional circumstances keep far from Vrindavan.
Yes.
That to experience by living here. And again, we charge our battery and we go to our countries to feel it, and after that again the battery becomes discharged. Because so much unconditional people are circumstances that we also come in conditional circumstances. And there is no any Rasik Katha is going on, Radha and Krishna pastime Katha, where you can listen in Germany or Switzerland or any place. There is no pastime, only philosophy is based on this. So they bring you, by listening that you go again in the condition position. Maybe we are improving here and again we go to the marginal and independence. And when we go to the independency and marginal condition, again you think that we become free now, we can do what we like. Till my conditions are there, we have to live in Vrindavan to bring out from our conditions. That have to judge. This judgment capacity for self-realization is very important, and this helps us to develop every moment to judge where I am and what I have to do and how to grow myself. It's all based on me and circumstances. So we have to create the circumstances favorable for unconditional person, that the mercy can flow from that. How they are beautifully, they are trying to practice to improve themselves. In unconditional, souls are also practicing more and more to improve.
Ramananda Roy continued, My dear Lord, I can understand that you have assumed the ecstasy and bodily complexion of Srimati Radharani. By accepting this, you are tasting your own personal transcendental humor and have therefore appeared as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu.
You see, in Chaitanya Caritamrita is mentioned. If you not see Radhika to Chaitanya, you will understand him.
Only half.
Only Krishna, then no taste will come. When you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radhika, and Rai Ramananda meeting of Chaitanya, again you will like to read how the Vishakha is meeting with Radhika. You will search the book and read again. I was thinking that one king is meeting with the sannyasi. That time was this concept of me. Even the Krishna will, why? He will roll for the meeting of the king. Radhika can roll when he will see his old friend who is always helping in the meeting of Krishna to me. That today I am meeting again. He is with me. So I have to listen and revive again my remembrance pastimes. Pastime means what happened in my previous time. She will relate to me and that will more relish. You know, two lovers are sitting. What they talk? They talk only the pastime. And each other they are talking their pastime or the friend's pastime. This is the nature of the lovers. When they sit together, they share the pastimes, what happened before. So Rai Ramananda meeting in the closed door was like this, to share the pastime, what is happening to you. First when they talk, then we say about the Varnashram Dharma.
Yeah, this is only a shortcut.
Then Mahaprabhu say, I know, come to listen that. He said, I know that. Then he proposed other thing. What? Yeah, like this. He said, I don't come to listen that. When he say about the rasa, then he accept. Okay, Sakya, Vatsalya. Then he say, okay. But is also is happening, but say more than that. Why? Because he wants to listen deep in between her condition, Mahaprabhu, Radhika, what is happening, the deep. These rasas are there, but he says, okay, I agree, but it's not too much. Say something more. Right or not? You see, when he talk about Vatsalya rasa and Sakya rasa, he says, say something more.
He always said this.
Something more. He was not satisfied there. Even the Sakya and Vatsalya rasa.
What I'm reading is already the gist.
And we are reading the gist, the final thing in that heart. Gist is this, that spontaneous love can come only with the shelter of the Radhika. To become the maidservant of Radhika, she will create a spontaneous love to us. There is no way. She is the source, reservoir of the love. Even the Krishna is receiving from her. What about us, Jiva?
Yes.
She is the source of the love.
Lord Shri Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, and Srimati Radharani is the personification of this ecstatic love of Godhead. These two forms have combined as one in Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. This being the case, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his real form to Ramananda Roy. This is described as Radha Bhav Duty Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Lord Shri Krishna was absorbed in the features of Srimati Radharani. This was disclosed to Ramananda Roy when he saw Lord Shri Chaitanya. An advanced devotee can understand Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Radha Krishna combined. This is explained by Swarup Damodar Goswami. Radha and Krishna is one. Radha Krishna is Krishna and his pleasure potency combined. When Krishna exhibits his pleasure potency, he appears to be two, Radha and Krishna. Otherwise, Radha and Krishna are one. This oneness may be perceived by advanced devotees through the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the case with Ramananda Roy. One may aspire to attain such a position, but one should not try to imitate the Mahabhagavata.
A little distance.
One may aspire to attain such a position, but one should not try to imitate a Mahabhagavata. This oneness is not a cheap thing to understand, Srila Prabhupada is explaining. Upon seeing this form, Ramananda Roy lost consciousness in transcendental bliss. Unable to remain standing, he fell to the ground. When Ramananda Roy fell to the ground unconscious, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched his hand, and he immediately gained his consciousness. But then when he saw Lord Chaitanya in the dress of a sannyasi, he was struck with wonder. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
This dress of sannyas is Krishna. He covered himself. What Krishna is doing, covering. Cover himself from the material world. In Mayavad dress. Savita Didi was here. He says, Radhika is there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But this Radhika, because of the Krishna is inside him, this is the kapat, means crookedness of Krishna to cover Chaitanya in a orange dress. Kapatata is a
duplicity, no?
Duplicity. See, this is the duplicity, this is not originality of covering. Even if you go to any temple, you will never see in any temple that Chaitanya is wearing orange dress.
No.
In your temple also, Chaitanya is wearing orange or normal dress? No. Any place you check, because they cannot do. I try to find, never I find, and Mahaprabhu is orange dress.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed, all the truth about my pastimes and mellows are within your knowledge. Therefore, I have shown this form to you. He was showing a combined form, right, Gurudev? Radha and Krishna like in union.
Yeah.
Ananga, no?
Ananga Buddha.
Now he says,
And this is Caitanya. Never without Krishna, Brajendranandan. So his pastime will never bring you out in Dwarika Leela or Kurukshetra Leela. Read whole Caitanya Caritamrita. All this pastime will bring you to Vrindavan. From any corner you read. To understand Caitanya Caritamrita is very difficult.
no, only in Rasika Vaishnava.
Rasika Vaishnava Association, if you read, you understand Caitanya Caritamrita. Only in Vrindavan, honestly. And in Vrindavan also you have to find Rasika Association.
Now comes one nice verse.
Yeah.
I have now converted my body and mind into the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani.
Jaho. Then you understand Chaitanya. You converted your body,
And mind.
means your Sarup Siddha Deha. You see, one time somebody asked, where Mahaprabhu teach about Sarup? All the way he is teaching about the Sarup. Body and mind. Soul is there. So body has to fix and the mind will fix like that.
Even Krishna took Swarup of maidservant doing it.
You see?
I'm just thinking it's so,
You see?
so funny.
We have to fix our body.
Yes.
Are body is my fixed? No. This body not. Is spiritual body. Then your mind will change because of the spiritual body. Automatic it will be Chhatrahi. Seva sadhak rupena, siddha rupena Chhatrahi. This siddha rupa will become your umbrella. Your body, mind, material body, mind, they start living in that umbrella. Your senses, all will be in the divine umbrella. Seva sadhak rupen. Okay, your physical body, you do the service. But Siddha Rupa, when will come, it will become like an umbrella, protection for all your senses, material, mind and everything. It will change like that way. Because in this umbrella living. How we say, we need to come in your umbrella, Swamini. You give your umbrella and I will be in your umbrella. And when the Siddha Rupa will come, then I will be staying to Swamini service and I will keep the umbrella where she goes. I will protect her. When I am in the sadhak deha, she is protecting me to give the umbrella, to bring to that umbrella. But the moment we go in Siddha Rupa, we put the umbrella to her. We live in that service. Body and mind. Yeah, read.
I have now converted my body and mind into the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani.
Yeah.
Thus I am tasting my own personal sweetness in that form. Gaurasunda here informed Sri Ramananda Roy. My dear Ramananda Roy, you
Hey,
were...
1 minute.
Yes.
There is one line. Personal sweetness.
Yes.
Read this line. Then I will.
Thus I am tasting my own
I will test my personal
sweetness.
my
Nija Madhurya.
Nija Madhurya. I will test my sweetness.
My Swamini.
I forget for a moment of Swamini I will taste my sweetness. And this sweetness is so high that I don't want to leave this personal sweetness. Because it is very, very special. Never happened like this in my life. We are very selfish now. Our nature is to be a selfish. When my personal benefit will be not there, we will not do that. If the personal sweetness will come so much that you don't want to go out from that. Huh?
Gaurasunda informed here to Sri Ramananda Roy, "My dear Ramananda Roy, you were actually seeing a separate person with a fair complexioned body. Actually, I am not fair. Being Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, I am blackish. But when I come in touch with Srimati Radharani, I become fair complexioned. Srimati Radharani does not touch the body of anyone but Krishna. I taste my own transcendental features by accepting the complexion of Srimati Radharani." Now comes the nectar. "Without Radharani, one cannot taste the transcendental pleasure of Krishna's conjugal love."
Yeah.
So she is giving also Krishna the transcendental body. What to speak about us?
Again.
So Krishna says, Lord Caitanya says, "I have now converted my body and mind into the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, and thus I am tasting my own personal sweetness in that form." Gaurasunda says to Sri Ramananda Roy, "My dear Ramananda Roy, you were actually seeing, when he was seeing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to him, this combined form of Radha and Krishna. And he said, you were seeing a separate person with a fair complexioned body, with a golden body. Actually, I am not fair, light in color. Being Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, I am blackish. But when I come in touch with Srimati Radharani, I become fair complexioned externally. Srimati Radharani does not touch the body of anyone but Krishna. I taste my own transcendental features by accepting the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Without Radharani, one cannot taste the transcendental pleasure of Krishna's conjugal love."
Yeah. So we take the shelter of love.
Yes.
Understand? If you want to taste Krishna also, you cannot do without taking shelter of love. Halfway knowing God. I know God. Narayan Bhakti. Vaikuntha going. Without taking shelter, because I know take shelter Radhika. God is here or there also. And I know took the here Lakshmi shelter there or not here Radha Rani shelter. Radha Rani will hold you. Where you are going, Baba, that is Lakshmi area.
Belwan. Don't go to Belwan.
That you will go, he is also there, but it's a Lakshmi area. When you take the shelter of the Radhika, you cannot go out from Vrindavan area. Read this line.
Being Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, I am blackish. But when I come in touch with Srimati Radharani, I become fair complexion, golden externally. Srimati Radharani does not touch the body of anyone but Krishna. I taste my own transcendental features by accepting the complexion of Srimati Radharani.
Yeah.
Without Radharani, one cannot taste the transcendental pleasure of Krishna's conjugal love.
Yeah.
Means one cannot access also Gurudev.
No, impossible.
Only through her we can come into this service.
This is the mercy of Chaitanya. And I cannot become like Krishna, I cannot become like Radhika, but I can become Radha Dasi. I don't want to become friend of her because I have no interest with Krishna. I want to serve only to her, to be in that consciousness. And serving to Radhika, becoming Dasi means you are Chaitanya Das. Yeah. You cannot separate them both of them. And if somebody is separate, they are separating because of the God. Yeah.
Gurudev, if we can get Sakya Bhav or Manjari Bhav just through Radhika, why is so much Krishna worship going on? In most of the places they worship Krishna, but the only way to get to Krishna is through Radhika and also Manjari Bhav just through Radhika.
Right.
I don't understand.
Answer to her. What's that? Good.
Should I ask one more time?
Yes, one more time, yes.
If we can get Krishna just through Radhika, I mean if we can develop Sakya mood or Manjari mood just through Radhika, Saki, then why so much Krishna worship is going on? No answer.
I know what Vamshi would say. Would say, everybody wants God. Nobody wants love.
Yes, very good.
That sounds so nice and short answer.
Because wherever we want to go, it's just through Radhika.
Everybody wants God, nobody
But is it really the only way or one way?
Only.
But you need association.
Love is the only way. Love is the only way.
Give the mic to...
Yes.
No, because you...
Can say,
Gurudev wants to listen what we say and then he can
yeah,
say. Yes.
really.
No, I just said that one needs association of Rasik Vaishnavas to understand that. It's not a matter of what is written, it's a matter of realization.
Yeah. Nitya Chakshu, Gauri Diji, they will say.
Everybody should say something.
What is there actually?
You told Maharaj some days before, no?
No, I will say.
He wants to
We love
listen
Krishna
also.
because he's loved by Radha, so of course we want also Krishna. You told some days before that actually we want Krishna because he's the beloved of Radha.
Yes.
But most of the devotees don't go through Radhika, they go directly to Krishna.
There are many kinds of devotees.
But I think it needs a conscious decision. Like, it needs a conscious decision that one wants to become Radha Dasi. Like in my case, I was worshipping Krishna for so many years without knowing about Radha Dasi. I was worshipping Krishna for so many years without knowing anything about Radha Dasya. So for me, this was all I knew. I couldn't do anything else. So it's not like everybody knows. And
you are how many years Krishna ago?
I can say.
When you came?
I came
84. 84, yes.
But even when I came first time here to Vrindavan, I just understood Krishna.
Yes.
Das.
Me too.
So it's 35 years now.
But other devotees come here and they immediately understand there's something different. So for me it took 30 years.
But what you get that way, what you receive,
What did you receive?
Very little. Very little. It was kind of like a two-dimensional practice. No taste. And I was also asking Krishna Chandra lately last year that I can see so many devotees chanting Hare Krishna, but as far as I can see, there is no taste.
what he answered?
I do not remember. But he also said, yeah, he can see the same thing.
What is his experience?
What is your experience with worshipping Krishna without Radha?
I suppose I also worshipping Panchatattva. I have been worshipping Panchatattva, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's combined, but I never really thought so much about it. But now when I started to worship Govardhan, then I feel closer both to Radha and Krishna, I think. But maybe we have too much over-reverence for Radharani. We don't feel like friendly to her, close to her, and therefore we kind of miss the point. But to be here in Vrindavan with the devotees who are dedicated to Radharani, it's like a wave. You bring it closer to her, and when you say Radha Mahan every day, then you must be attracted because they are so beautiful. I was thinking.
Madhavan Puri also was.
I met devotees in 1986, and then after some months I moved into the temple, and by their association I was in ecstasy chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I was in ecstasy chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and listening to Srimad Bhagavatam every day in their association. And I developed, I understood that I had Vatsalya Bhav to Krishna at that time. But these things were not, I couldn't get any understanding from this, from the devotees about my experiences in this way, about my chanting and so on. So instead I became very fearful of getting a four-armed form like Narayan. I was so. This is the result of following Krishna consciousness, to get the four-armed form. So I asked Smita Krishna Swami this in Sweden. He is the guru and sannyasi in Sweden. So I don't remember what he answered, but in any case, I didn't get any guidance whatsoever for my spontaneous chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not until I met devotees like Sachinandan Swami 10 years later, who spoke about Vrindavan. But it was still about Krishna and Balaram. Then 10 years later I met Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. So it took me about 18 years before I heard anything about Radha Dasyam. I remember also when I was a new devotee in Bhakta, so-called Bhakta in the temple, I had a spontaneous attraction for being a gopi in relationship to Krishna. But then it cut my heart that this was not my mood. So I stopped immediately doing that. But there was nothing else. It was just this Vatsalya Bhav that I couldn't understand from the devotees. I only understood about Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as God. So it was very rare to hear anything else than that. But of course in Prabhupada's books, I could read, even in the first cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, how Krishna was very sweet with his devotees. So that was my oasis, that was my nectar, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you.
Actually, knowing Krishna is also very important. If you know fixed in Krishna, then there are many things to fix. So this was also mercy, that they fixed us in Krishna very seriously. Without knowing Krishna, we cannot know Radha. Because Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam only mention of Narayan Krishna, opulent side of it. All is opulent side. Narayan. When you come to the 10th canto, 9th canto is also Ramacharitra. When you come to the 10th canto, then pastime starts. So you remember, Prabhupada first he write Krishna book, where the all pastimes are there. In Krishna book, is all pastime is there. So this is the mention about the pastime to reach. And his mercy that he give all detailed information, that nobody can confuse you about Krishna. Is a knowledge, information. So gather information to know before first anyone is one thing. But whole life I cannot put in knowledge to know him. Now we want to go close to him. We like him. And there are three mallow of liking to him. One mallow. Mallow means relation. Without liking will not come. You see, when you only want to do the Krishna meditation, you will not start liking him. You will start only to get the information. Liking will start when you will read the book of the associate of the Krishna. Friends of Krishna. Then you will research all the friends who is the best friend. Sudama, pastime, Uddhav, pastime, and the cowboys' pastime. Then you will research. Then you find something. That who is the best friend. When you want to know about the mothers, that way you see. Then you like one of that mother. Then you start following that mother. And the mercy means without trying, some idea I got it. That is mercy, that I don't need to go in details. I accept something in my life. And the mercy when comes, it becomes more easy of our life. I no need to search and give time for that. I give one example of Jesus also in this manner. Jesus is not a God, but we are talking about God. He is the son of the God. Anna? Then why Jesus is so important? Because he has a love and he showed the love of his Father. So Jesus is important. Because he showed the love. Right or not? And go to South America, nobody talk about Jesus. They talk about Mother Mary. Why? Because they believe that mother love is more higher. So lovers are always respectful because they teach us to love. So that's the thing, we do this. The God is important, but the lovers become more important than the God. Right or not, my dear friend? Yeah. And lovers bring you there, to the goal. That's the way of our spiritual life. Radhe Radhe Go.